who I have with me today is Emily Friedenberg and Sophie Thrasher. And they're going to tell you about themselves, but these two young women have been instrumental in their states working with GCA on newborn screening. And so rather than me tell you about their work, I want them to tell you directly. So we just have a few questions, and they're going to talk about it. So the first question, can you tell us where you're from and how you were diagnosed with Gaucher disease?
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I was lucky enough to be diagnosed when I was a newborn with newborn screening.
Hello, my name is Sophie Thrasher. I was 13 years old when I was diagnosed.
And why do you think newborn screening is important, and why is it important to you?
So it was important to me because when I was younger, I didn't need treatment, but I was still getting checked and made sure. And when I was old enough and I started needing treatment, it was like readily available and I knew what was going on. But some people aren't as lucky.
Newborn screening is important to me because if I was diagnosed at birth, my bone marrow would not be dead and my family wouldn't have gone through a traumatizing event.
Can you tell us a little bit about that event that led to your diagnosis?
I went through a very painful bone crisis.
How old were you?
13 years old.
And what disease did they tell you that you had?
That I had a rare cancer.
So neither of your states have newborn screening. Neither Georgia nor Massachusetts have newborn screening. So Massachusetts, the process for adding newborn screening, there isn't one. So the only option is to have a bill through the legislature. So GCA, along with a bunch of other lysosomal storage disorders, have a bill pending in the legislature. And so Sophie, can you talk a little bit about what you are doing in your state to advance this?
I have been lobbying at the State House and attending many state meetings. I also did a speech at the State House, and I brought all my friends and family. And my school also sent a teacher to learn about it with me.
So how many times do you think you've been to the State House now?
Yeah, probably like 5.
Before you started working on this, how many times have you been to the State House?
None.
So you think you're pretty familiar with that building?
Now, yes.
So when you go to the State House and you talk to some of the legislators, what do you tell them?
I just talk about my experience with them and let them know like how much of a struggle it was.
And that you don't want other kids to go through what you went through?
Yeah.
The process for adding newborn screening in Georgia is an application process, which means the application was submitted and then it goes through the Department of Health. So, Emily, do you want to talk about what you've been doing to help that process?
So far, it's a lot of waiting for the date, but I've reached out to legislators in my area to get letters of like support that we can bring to the board of directors for the Department of Health to try and like help persuade them to vote yes.
The hearing for our Georgia application is October 25th, and which that means is that the Department of Health is going to review Gaucher disease. And so Emily is going to tell her story at that meeting along with other patient families and expert physicians. So we hope to tell you the outcome of that hearing at the next time we get together. So if you had a recommendation for these people out here that want to get involved, like why should they get involved with newborn screening?
I think they should get involved so that people in the future don't have to go through stuff like Sophie had to, because if you get screened when you're a newborn and you know you have it, it's something that you can regularly check on and make sure it's not going to be something that you have to treat and stuff like that. And it can save people a lot of like financial stress and just like pain.
And I think the more people that get involved, the more the government will listen to us.
Okay, well, you heard it. So get involved with newborn screening. Thank you so much to Emily and Sophie for all of their work, and I know they're just starting, so they'll be hearing more from them. So thank you.